I'm walking into the shop right now, and I'd like a medium crab bisque, please.
Really? Here you go.
There's no bread in here.
You want bread?
If I could, yes, I would like some bread.
That's $3.
What?
No soup for you.
All right, Larry Thomas here at BB&T Ballpark. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us.
Pleasure.
All right, that's Larry Thomas. More to come here on the Sonic Automotive pregame show after this here at BB&T Ballpark. We're glad to be joined by a two-time Cy Young winner, also the 1985 World Series MVP, played 16 seasons in the big leagues, Brett Saberhagen here at BB&T Ballpark. Welcome out to Charlotte.
It's great to be here. Beautiful ballpark. First time coming to the ballpark, and they've done a fabulous job. From what I hear, where the old ballpark was in South Carolina, it's night and day. So it's when I was growing up and playing in the minors, we didn't have anything close to this, and this is beautiful.
Well, in '85, obviously, a lot of people remember that season for you. It was a Cy Young award-winning season. Obviously, you guys won the World Series that year, and you played with some great players on that team, from George Brett to Jim Sundberg, your catcher. What do you remember about that season?
Well, it was my second year. Mark Gubazon and I came up as
we're at BB&T Ballpark before the White Sox and Charlotte Knights exhibition game, and we're glad to be joined by the manager of the Chicago White Sox, Ricky Renteria. First time at BB&T Ballpark. What do you think?
It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I mean, the weather's wonderful. The skyline is unbelievable. I think it's. I know you guys have probably had a little comparison to PNC, which it reminds me of quite a bit.
How important is this as part of the player development rise for the players? I mean, you remember a time where you played on fields that were a lot less quality than this, but now the players have a chance to use this as a springboard to the big leagues.
That's important. I think any place they go to perform, anytime they're provided with a facility of this magnitude, it's gorgeous.
Welcome back out to BB&T Ballpark, getting ready for the Knights and the Durham Bulls. It's Game 3 of the three-game series here. Knights will be off tomorrow before they go out on the road. Now, today is our second annual Women in Baseball Day. It's really become one of our great promotions here at BB&T Ballpark, and we're very thrilled to have Megan Cavanaugh. She played Marla Hooch, second baseman in the film A League of Their Own, 1992. Kind of became an instant baseball classic, and when you think of all the great baseball movies, it's up there with them, and we're so thrilled to have you here. Thank you, and welcome out to BB&T Ballpark.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here.
And it really is. I mean, it's not just an iconic baseball movie. I mean, it's an iconic film, so it kind of spans two different areas. But how did you hear about it, and what was it like when you got the call that they said, hey, we want you to be in this movie?
Well, I didn't have an agent, and I heard about this movie through a friend. And I went, you had to play baseball before you could audition.
Okay.
So you had to be, a ball player.
Yeah.
They weren't going to take anybody that wasn't.
When you're making a movie like this, do you understand the history behind it? I mean, does that sink in as far as just what these women did back in World War II to kind of help the war effort and kind of keep the entertainment going?
It was really important for us. We wanted to impress the real ladies more than anything. And we wanted it to be a truthful telling of their experience.
Michael, that's what my family calls me. Everybody else calls me Mike. But Michael Kopech joining us here. And Michael, let's start with last night. I know for you, after the game you said, it felt fun. A little bit of a tough start last night, giving up the 2 runs. Maybe a little bit tough for that second at bat. Thought you had the strikeout there, but you were able to battle back. What did you feel about last night's performance?
This year has been a year where I kind of felt like I've had to go out there and battle.
People know about the velocity. It's a big part of your game, being a strikeout pitcher. But I know this year you've been really working on in the off-speed stuff. How important is that as you try to make your way up to the big leagues to have that changeup and the curveball to just mix it up so that the fastball really stands out maybe a little bit more?
I mean, primarily last year I was fastball, slider, changeup, and I was uncomfortable with the grip that I was using for my changeup. So I played with that a lot this year.
So how did you get the role? How did you hear about The Office?
Actually, a buddy of mine had seen the British version, and he called me and was like, "Dude, I think they're doing an American version of that. You got to go in." So I called my agent and said, "Hey, I hear they're doing an American version of The Office," and he said, "You really want to do that?"
Now, broke in 1987 with the Red Sox, drafted by the Sox in '83. It had to be really interesting coming in when you did, because it was coming on the heels of '86. Of course, everybody in baseball knows what happened in '86 with the Red Sox. But what was that first year in the big leagues like for you?
It was unbelievable. Let me go back a little bit. When I was drafted by the Red Sox out of junior college, that was my favorite team. Jim Rice was my favorite player, and to have an opportunity to play with Jim Rice was amazing. I was first introduced to him in 1986, and he told Vince, who was our clubhouse manager at the time, put that kid's locker next to mine.
On our heart forever.
Did you guys have a sense filming that it was going to take off and be the kind of the cult classic it is today?
Well, I had a standard answer to that, and I've always said no. I had no idea. But apparently they just did a documentary, and they end the trailer with me, 13, going, I think this movie is going to be something people will watch forever. I don't hold a special place in my heart. So.
All right, now you can include yourself if you want to. Who was the best baseball player?
Me, yeah.
Of course.
No, honestly, probably Mike Vitar, who played Benny. He was the leader on and off the field, and he was the best ball player. I like to think of myself as probably the second best. There might be some that would argue that, but I'll put it to a test. We'll have a little combine out here, and I'll show my stuff.
And we welcome you back out to BB&T Ballpark, getting ready for the Knights and the Stripers. Now, the jersey I'm wearing, these are the Knights red, white, blue military appreciation jerseys. We were just talking about that with Julie from the USO of North Carolina a little bit ago. This will be auctioned off today, and here's how you can do it. You can go text MGA18 to 24700 to register. That'll give you all the information, which jerseys of which players you want to bid on, the number amounts. You can stay tuned with that. But first you have to go and register, and you can also check out mja18.auction-bid.org for more information. You can always check out the Knights website, and there's a table up on the main concourse. They'll have this information as well. So if you want to bid, go check that out. This goes to a great cause. It's always one of our most popular auctions throughout the year, and it goes to a great cause. If you remember what Julie said, the USO of North Carolina, they fund themselves. 93 cents of every dollar goes to help our soldiers and support them when they're coming through Charlotte and all the different programs that the USO of North Carolina does. So it's a great cause, and we hope you can enjoy yourself tonight, and hopefully you get a great jersey like the one I'm wearing right now. Also, coming up tonight, we have a chance for fans to win $50,000 playing our dice game, and it looks like our next contestant is ready to go and standing by with Taylor. Taylor, take it away. So we've been riding all over Missouri today. We went to the Churchill Museum, the National Churchill Museum, which is in Fulton, Missouri, right by Jefferson City, and now we're back in St. Louis. Had to get something to eat because we need to be powered for the game tonight, and boy, did we stop at a very popular place.
Pappy's Smokehouse has only been here for about a decade, but everybody who's anyone in St. Louis, and quite frankly from all over, comes here. They've been voted to have the best ribs in America. But Mike, before we talk about the food, what about the decor, the line? This place is hopping.
It has Americana. There's all sorts of sauces and barbecue sauces lining the walls. The menus have famous names with signatures on them. There's jerseys with Pappy's on the back. And Dave, the line was out the door. It took us maybe 45, 50 minutes just to get to order and get our food. And boy, was it great when we got it.
Yeah, when you say best ribs in America, I know Coach Kelsey has a favorite place in Cincinnati, but these are going to give them a run for their money. It's Memphis-style barbecue, so no sauce on them, just that rub. Then you can dip sauces on them. But boy, just so unbelievably tender.
Yeah, they're very tasty, very flavorful. The sides were fantastic, too. And we're hoping for a fantastic game tonight with Winthrop at SIU. Edwardsville will have coverage beginning at 7:30. Tip is at 8 o'clock. Hope you'll join us on the Winthrop Sports Network, powered by Founders Federal Credit Union.